Amongst all of these papers is not the piece of paper I need to do all the thanks that I wanted to do. So I'm clearly not going to attempt that. I wanted to literally honour everybody who's taken a part in putting today together for me. I mean, I felt like I wanted to do something really, really special to celebrate with all of you who've travelled this long journey with me. And I really I actually literally didn't sleep last night writing this speech that is somewhere in this room, this speech, which I may go home and recite to myself in the bathroom because it deserves to be read. And I will thank everybody personally. I'd have loved to be up here and to draw you up and thank you. There's so many people. I'm going to name a few. I'm going to miss out heaps of the people. That's why I wrote my speech. This is definitely not over there. I'm just going to have one little look. No, it's not there. Okay, I'm just going to have to do it. Okay, I guess I'm just going to try and do it in order. The event people who run this incredible venue, I asked Heather, my angel, Heather, my PA, who's over there behind the desk, who actually had an accident getting here today and still, after a car was damaged, still managed to get here. That's the kind of person she is. I'd love you to give her a little applause. Thank you, Heather. I actually have a great present for her. In one of those bags, there's some sheets of paper. See that box, that flat box? Because I had this great idea that I had 3 people in my life who had halos, or they deserved them. Because I really feel like I couldn't have done anything without these 3 people. So I bought these lavish and beautiful things, which are in fact, I don't know if you can see it, because I obviously don't have them. They're in the mail somewhere, probably in Melbourne, probably as we speak, they're within speaking distance. These are beautiful scarves of wings. Actually, one of the girls has got them on here tonight. I should have actually let me lent hers. And I wanted to give wings to 3 different people. You can come and have a look if you like. I wish I could have draped them lavishly around them. This is the story of my life. Everything's a slow burn. I was talking to the new head of Penguin Random. I always want to say Random Penguin because I think it sounds hippie and cool, but they don't like that idea, so it's Penguin Random. And I was just saying the other day how I think that I'm not a best-selling author. It's true that sometimes when books come out, they go into the bestseller list, and that's purely due to you. But I'm not a best-selling author. I feel like I'm a slow burn. I feel like I've got a really good backlist, and the reason I've got a backlist, and that used to be how you survived as a writer, having a backlist that people wanted to buy and read, and that they stayed around and around and around. And I feel that's actually a much better career than being what I call a frontline writer, which is somebody who goes to the bestseller list and lives there basically all the time. I really love my career. I love all the idiosyncrasies and weirdnesses. And Morris, very aptly actually, which just goes to show how well he knows me, called me stubborn, and I am. I don't look stubborn. I mean, I might look stubborn today, but I am stubborn, and I'm stubborn in a long-term way. This morning I was talking to, giving a little talk about why I took so long, basically. Every question really means that. Why did you take as long as you did? And I took as long as I did because that's how long it takes me to write a book. And I remember the moment when I stepped out of feeling humble about what I was doing. Maybe it's appropriate that I'm dressed like a queen. Somebody published somewhere, some of you have heard me tell this story, and I apologise for being a rerun, but it was a really important moment for me of realisation about myself now at the end of the Overview Chronicles. Someone out there complained about how slow the first section of the book is, and someone out there wrote, "Where was the editor?" And it wasn't aimed at me, this comment, I just saw it. And that's the wonder of the internet. You can see anything anybody says about you, and it comes past your eyes. And mostly you look at it and you don't comment. But on this occasion, I thought, actually, I'm going to comment. So I went on and I said, his comment, or her comment was, where was the editor? And I came on and I said, believe me, she tried. And I realised there was a real arrogance in that. And I guess I feel like it's my book, for crying out loud. And so I just felt like, who says a book has got to be high octane from beginning to end? Who says everything's got to be the way it's been before or the way somebody else did? You know who says it? Somebody who thinks books are like Wheaties. And you can sell them like Wheaties. Because we're just readers. We'll read anything that you upsell. Except we won't. We won't read anything. We read what we love. We read as we care about what we read. No one's going to make us read something that we don't want to read. We might be persuaded. We might be drawn to something next to the thing that we love. But we are not going to read what we don't want to. I'm not the only one who's stubborn. We readers are stubborn too. And in the end, we have the voting power because we're the ones who buy. Discriminate. We're the ones who choose what to buy. And no matter how many times they try to turn books into boxes of Wheaties, we readers won't let them do it. And I guess in that moment, my realisation was that I just owned my own books in that moment. I also felt like I wrote it for myself more than anyone else. But in that moment, I really did feel like they're my books, and I will write them the way that I want to write them. And what you have done tonight is in the most amazing way. I can't believe the costumes, the masks. I have prizes, but I've got a list that I can't find, so I'm going to find you personally and give you your prizes. I had someone who was going to get them to me, but she's left because she sat on the floor for too long. So I'm going to have to wing it. So these are the things that I would have loved to give it, and I just like to name those people in particular. Heather, of course. She's my personal assistant 1 day a week, and it often bleeds into a lot more than 1 day a week. Certainly around this, it did. I was completely, if you were here this morning, you saw the dog's breakfast of organisation around the events. The events were great, the organisation actually didn't exist because Heather wasn't here. I don't know what I would do without her. So I want to drape some wings around her, but the wings are not here. It sounds like the story of my life, but they're coming. I have pictures. And the other person I'd like to give wings to, and she may well be over there, is Min, who's the for those of you who don't know Min, and most of you do because she's the one who clinches the fandom these days. I believe someone in the room is Shannon. Shannon, are you here?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. That girl there, that woman there, when she was a girl, she started overnewton.com. She, all by herself as a girl. Isn't that an amazing thing? Stand up, stand up. I just want to say thank you. This bit I remember. Shannon, I really just want to say thank you so much for starting this series. This is the first time I think we've ever met face to face. Okay. She's hiding behind a mask. Thank you. Thank you. I really think she deserves yet another roaring applause. I have to kiss her behind her mask. And so Shannon began, and I was talking about Min. It's like Alpha and Omega. And so Min runs the Over Newton website these days. And it's been an incredible journey for us too. I want to tell you a little story which some of you know. And that little story is about when I first met Min. Her partner Paul decided to give her a surprise. And he got to me. He found my paper rightly in a non-creepy way for my details from her, because she ran the website, so we communicated. And he found the details, and he wrote to me and he said, "Can I ask you just this one little thing? Would you mind, you're speaking somewhere, and I'd sort of like to give you to Min for a birthday present." It seemed kind of interesting. And he said, I really want this to be something special for her. And I just thought, this guy is awesome. He has to be supported. So So I said, okay. So we were texting one another all day like lovers, trying to arrange to meet. So we finally rearrange a restaurant, which I of course get wrong. Wrong restaurant, wrong street, but he finds me with me. I've got pictures, I know what they look like. They're coming towards me. I'm trying to move so she can't see my face. And as she gets closer, I waited for her to get close. When she looked at me, she screamed really, really loudly. Like unbelievably loudly. And I was quite frightening, but it was also really, really kind of thrilling to have that happen as well. Min, can you come up on stage? I haven't got her wings to drape on her. I haven't got Heather's wings, but they deserve at least a huge round of applause. So this is mine. Who does that? Only somebody who's so authentic and such a perfectionist. If you ever want a website done, she knows seriously, after she started, I just wanted to adopt her or marry her or have her forever. Anything I could do to keep her in my life forever. And she was actually following me to another gig after they'd met me and the screaming had happened. And they were driving along behind me and at one point she said to her partner, you know, we're sort of stalking. And he said, no, but she invited us, so that's not stalking. So I just want to say, with her up here in front of me, thank you so much for carrying this torch. She told me the other day they're going to have a meeting called Over Human Evolution, where they're trying to figure out what to metamorphose into next. Isn't that incredible? That I started something. Those people over there, they became friends because of a book I wrote. And I just think that is about the best validation a writer could ever have. So, Min, I don't know how to thank you. I can't give you wings, but you've got a halo. And the last person that I'd like to say thank you to, in this particular material way, that the third winged person, I've actually forgotten for this moment, and that's a terrible thing to admit. It's someone really important to me. Who can it possibly be? I'm going to feel really embarrassed in it. Oh God. Okay, I want to say thank you to someone who you don't see. In fact, she's so subtle, so hidden, she's even hidden from me sometimes. She is the most, I mentioned her earlier today, she's someone I couldn't have finished that final book without. Some of you have some idea, but none of you have any idea what finishing that last book was like. What it was like to set the clock for 3 hours to sleep and wake up and do a bit more and then cry because you don't think you're going to make the deadline and then go to sleep and think, I can't do it, and wake up and think, yes, I can do it, and go on and on and on. And the only person who kept me sane, and yes, Jan and Adelaide were deeply challenged by this period in my life, but the only person that kept me completely sane was Nan, my editor. So I would like her to come up here too if she's here. And Nan, are you still here? She's over there selling books for me. There she is in her red clothes. Now Maurice talked about my stubbornness. This is the best editor ever anyone could ever have. She's just a superwoman. She has wings, she has a halo, and she even has feathers, you see. So they're actually sprouting her own wings. And they are from her face, but I'll give her wings at the back. You look fantastic. You see this wings I was trying to give you a funnel for you. I was trying to give you some... I'm so elegant. Here are your wings. I would have given them to you, I will give them to you, but I just can't give them to you right now. To have a good editor as a writer, so many of you in this room are writers. Many of you are writers. You can wish for the angel that I have editing me. She makes me better. She makes my characters eat. She makes them go to the toilet. She makes them drink. She makes them realise the moon can't set twice in the same night. And I'm deeply challenged about not left and right, but east and west. And there are times it's like a gyroscope going round and round in my head. I know where I'm going, but I forget that it's east and I start calling it west. And Nan writes me and says, Isobelle, she's turned around and she's gone back into the sea. So she knows I'm completely horrible. she stays with me anyway, and that has to be awesome too. So the third angel in my life is definitely Nan. At least I can give her flowers, even if I can't. I have a present, but I can't find it right now. It's in those boxes. I'll keep it to her in a minute. It's a very good present. Thank you. So she's very shy. She just told me I embarrassed her. You can be embarrassed in a good way. There are many other people I would like to thank. Some I have to thank. Those women in the kitchen who've been cooking this, penultimate, my sister, Ellen, is out there cooking like a demon in the kitchen. She's been there this whole night. She hasn't stepped out here. She hasn't seen anything. She has a costume. She can't hear this accolade in front of hundreds of people because she's out there cooking the last bits of food which she's giving you to eat whenever you want. So she's out there. She's an awesome chef and I'm lucky to have her. I have a present over there lost in the boxes which she'll get to. My other sister Marjorie, who's been selling books, who's been driving her around, who's been giving her tea to keep her up while she's been making. She was also up all night. They were keeping one another up. So I have to say thank you to them. They're not here right now listening to all this. I hope someone will tell them that I did them honour. I love them. They matter to me. My family matters to me, and they're there for me in the most essential way. And for those of you who've ever heard the Monster Game story, they do still love me, even though I scared them. And I just know this. Please forgive me for getting all the rest of you. I'd like to thank Phoebe, Natasha, and my daughter. I would like you three to come on stage. I'd just like to say a final thank you to these girls. I can't tell you how fast they pulled this together at my request. How many asinine things I suggested we would do. And still they did it. And they're like angels. They're like angels. Some minor angels, and they'll grow up into bigger angels, and they'll deserve wings. But for now, all I have to give them is a flower to say that they're beautiful, they're talented, and I love them. I'm embarrassed, they're true. They're teenagers, they hate that. And here they are on stage. I mean, what's that? And I'd like to, of course, say thank you to everyone who has, just in a general way, forgive me if I've forgotten your name, forgive me if I've forgotten to mention you now. I'll show you my shoot to prove that I was going to mention you. But finally, I'd like to thank Morris for doing a really, really wonderful and lovely speech. Morris, thank you. You're a man who's a cut above, and he is really a cut above because he's really tall. I'd like to thank also the people who let you in the door. Paul from Ford Street, who published Scatterlings and Greylads for me in reprint. He was an awesome door guardian and has a really groovy mask. And Trudy, who's out there like a warrior princess for hours, freezing or burning out there to look at us, to keep off the barbarian hordes, because we are not them. So I would just like to say thank you to everybody for being part of this occasion with me. It was hard to hear Morris talk about Tash, and I know her parents are there, her dad is here because her mum's overseas. It was not me doing something special for Tash and her family. It was an incredible, incredible privilege to be led into somebody's life in such a moment. If that was Adelaide, that 16-year-old girl was Adelaide, I would not share her with anyone. She would be mine and I would spend every second with her. But they let me into their lives. They didn't make a fuss. It was very low-key and it was so graceful and so beautiful. Every night, her mum made her a gourmet meal that I saw pass on the Skype before we switched it off. It was the most tender and loving family, and really, she couldn't have had a more wonderful, more loving family. They don't forget her, I don't forget her, and I've made sure you won't forget her either. Thank you all for being part of this incredible night. I'm going to hand over to Actually, am I handing over? Maybe I'm not handing over. Maybe I'm actually going to tell you of my own accord that Rondo are now going to perform for you, and I'd love you to really dance, let your hair down, take your shoes off, dance, and forget about the mask. Unmask, only if you want to though. Just keep your mask if you want. Unmask as you wish. Eat the last of the food, drink the last of the drink, and enjoy the last bit of the night. You've got to be out of here by 11 o'clock or we'll all be shot. So please make sure that happens. Thank you.